This week it's Back to Basics with John Newman. This is Anyone Can Play Guitar, the podcast for musicians and music lovers that takes you behind the scenes of the music industry. This week is brought to you in partnership with guitar rigs from MGR Music. Ever wondered what equipment your favourite guitarists used? Head over to mgrmusic.com/guitar rigs now with detailed pedal diagrams, amplifier and guitar combinations that defined an era. Whether it's Kurt Cobain's 1991 setup or Alex Turner's from 2006, mgrmusic.com/guitar rigs is the place to go. So welcome to episode 81 with me, James, and him,
Ben.
Stripping it right back this week, but beforehand, before we delve into it, last week, Stephen Page.
Or that people feel that they're owed some kind of constant personal contact, because it's hard enough for me to stay in contact with my family.
I enjoyed that, James, stripping it back, because you're right. I caught John at the Clooney, which is a
small venue for him.
Yeah, I was gonna. If you put the two, if you put the equation together, John Newman and the Clooney is a fantastic venue,
very good venue,
and I loved playing that venue. But the fact that we played it suggests that John Newman might be too big for that venue. It's one of my favourite venues to play and to watch gigs at. So for John Newman to play it, it was him getting back to basics, really stripping it right back, getting to why he loved playing live and being in part of the music industry.
And he'll talk about why he ended up doing that and what the approach was, which was really interesting to see. You know, when someone's had big hits like he has, big hits, there's still that appetite to how you re-energize yourself and you come back and you continually do it. So, really good chat.
Yep, it reminded me of our first ever tour that you and I did with Dave and Chris in the Brown Hill Supernova.
I'll clock out how many times you've referenced that since day one.
Have I mentioned it before? I can't remember. Regardless, it did remind me of that though. But like that whole, we're doing this because we want to do it and enjoy it. And to be honest, John was really giddy about the whole thing. He was loving it.
You know, some people that we catch a lot of guests whilst they're on tour.
Yes.
And sometimes they're lovely, but just exhausted by the whole experience of being on tour, and they're trying to be very good and give us whatever time they can, but it's squeezed into everything else that they're doing. You could tell though, he was just full of beans.
Full of beans.
Which isn't always the case when people are on tour. You could see he had that energy back, which was good.
Which it was good, yes.
Just some quick thank yous. Thank you to John for his time on the day. Thank you to Shane from the PR company, Chris, John's manager, and Garth, who is John's tour manager.
Here we go.
Remember, a great way to support the show is to go on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating and a review. It really does make a massive difference for the show. Now, on with the episode.
So this is like the middle of your intimate. Do you call it intimate tour?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. 2 days in and I'm fucked.
It's a long, isn't it? It's a long one.
It is. It's a bit daunting, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're driving a camper van. It was my stupid dream at night. I thought we should drive a camper van because I'm sick of posh hotel rooms and posh cars into posh nightclubs and just... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, we're not actually fucking touring here. We're not travelling.
Yeah.
We're just sitting in nice environments and saying the same old jokes. And that got well boring. So I was like, I think we should just get in a camper van. And
Yeah.
it's actually really worked. I mean, it's smashing us up because we're doing all the driving and everything, but I wanted to go back to the start. I got a bit bored of it, got a bit bored of putting the suit on, doing the dancing and just getting on a scissor lift. I got a bit bored.
Right.
I was like, I'm not up for that. So I was like, let's go back to the start and start again. Even if we don't need to go back to the start, let's go back to the start. And because I think it's the most important thing. And I think I'll probably do this a few times throughout my career. I think it's really important to do.
Press the reset button.
Yeah. For me. And for me mainly.
Yeah. I can imagine because...
No, I'm here in this piss stinking room eating a shit prawn sandwich.
Yeah, but still. So before I even we'll start recording, but before I even get into it, one of the main memories I've got of yourself is the song you did with it. Is how you pronounce Sigala? Mm-hmm. Give Me Your Love. It reminds me of my daughter because she was like 1 and a bit when that came out, and she wasn't interested in Peppa Pig, wasn't interested in whatever. She just wanted to watch the music channels.
Sick.
And that was a massive hit, wasn't it? That
yeah,
summer, 2016. Yeah. So I just love that song because it's good, but also because
Yeah, you got a connection. Yeah,
daughters
cool,
and that. Yeah. So then, initially, you're not obviously regretting this tour, but is it bringing back old memories of small rooms like this that people obviously can't see because we're on a podcast?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think, but do you know what? It's putting a smile on my face. Like that's. I know I don't look at it. I look like a thumb right now, but I am generally like. So we started like the other day, and we drove up to York, and it was the hottest day of the year, and I was like, "What have I done? Why are we doing this?" In this camper van, and then like stayed there. I didn't do a gig, and it was just a bit like, "What are we doing?" And then last night we did the first gig, and it was literally the best gig I've had in years.
Yeah.
Because I connected. I'm sorry. It's such an important thing to connect with an audience.
Yeah.
I'm a gig goer. I've been since being a kid, and it's so important. And we connected with the audience last night. Like I've never connected with them since doing venues like this.
Right.
And just had a chat and just told them why I wrote these songs. Like songs that have been produced by Calvin, like Blame, that you hear on radio and then people just dance to.
Yeah. But
to break the lyrics down and say, no, this was a heartbreak. There goes the oranges and bananas. This is a heartbreak anthem, for me, and I think it's quite amazing to break them songs down.
Yeah.
And play them and give people the opportunity to hear them and new music. So
let's see new music as well.
Yeah, and in terms of moving forward, if I'm feeling like, oh shit, this is daunting, or I'm kind of regretting it, absolutely not. Like a little bit until the music started, and then I love how much you're loving that. Whatever you're doing.
My baby's just sent a selfie.
Oh,
she's 6 months old.
That's so cool. No, I'm not regretting it. Since the second we walked out on the stage, I was like, this is going to be fucking great. And last night I was like, I'm so ready to get in the camper van and go and do the next gig.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great concept and what.
Yeah, totally. So this isn't like a precursor for the new album or a bigger tour, like whatever venues you may hit on the next tour. This is just for you.
It's for everything.
For everything.
Yeah, it's for everything. It's for the future. And you'll hear that if you stick around and watch a gig, but it's mainly about going back. The other reason is because I felt like I was going in studio sessions and all I wanted to do is go out for a fag and go home to my missus.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, which is an amazing thing, I want to go home to my missus every minute of the day, but it meant that I was distracted and there was a region of distraction, and I think it's because I'd lost what I wanted to do. All I was trying to do is write Spotify's formula that everyone else was following.
Right.
Or what was number one last week, because I really wanted a number one. And it was just making shit. And I wasn't happy with it. I feel like for 3 years I've released singles that I'm trying to beat a formula with. And it's just built up so much. It sent me pretty mentally ill down the wrong way. And as soon as it came out the other side of that and dealt with that, and throughout the process of dealing with that, then I resulted in, do you know what? I can sit here and be be a fucking robot to the music industry and let them tell me what to make and never achieve. You know, because they're always 10 minutes behind.
Yeah.
Or I can do like I did with Love Me Again. Like, everyone goes to me, the formula on Love Me Again, you're a genius. How did you work the formula out? And I was like, you think there's generally a formula to that song? It like goes into some weird string pull on a guitar hit that sounds like a Motown record and then into a house tune. I was like, there's no formula. I just loved it.
Yeah, the formula is there's no formula.
The formula is to just love your job.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to another artist. It was yesterday, actually. It was like, I just want a hit. And I was like, you aren't getting a hit saying that. Do you know what I mean? Because you've totally overthinking it. It's a bit like when you've got a girlfriend, girls are always interested. And it's a bit like that in hits. Like, I'm like, I don't want a hit. I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. I've got my missus. And I love her to bits. And I've got my family. And I've got my health. And that's the most important thing. Yeah. I started appreciating that in an older age and started thinking, do you know what? I just want to make music that I love instead. And even if I have to play it in smaller venues or whatever, then it's all right.
Yeah. I suppose you don't really get to say it's a hit, do you? It's the people who buy it that say it's a hit.
It's not a hit until it's been a hit.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the best way of looking at how to write a song. That's how we wrote songs. If we didn't like it got binned. There's a couple of times we were due to bin songs and people went, that's the best song you've ever written, and we didn't, and we're glad we didn't because we connected.
I've had that.
We connected with them. Which I guess is what you'll get tonight, is that connection.
Yeah. But in honesty, like I'm playing 4 new tunes in here.
Right.
2 of them are out of the bin.
Right.
Like other people's bin. And the other one, everyone just said, don't know about that. It might work. And then I went in a session, so then I played it to a friend of mine, and I rung my manager and said, he's just got really jealous and angry and bitter and pissed off at me for that song that we're not that interested in. I was like, Ed Sheeran.
Right.
And he was like, in that case then, let's get going on it. And I was like, right, and so now it's, what we're working towards, but it is a ballad, and it's hard when you have hits because then you're trying to break a mould, and that's more difficult. I'd rather not have them, right? And then be able to do what you want. To be honest, they're a bit of a curse.
That's refreshing to hear that though, because that's what people want, don't they? But that's what they think they want.
Yeah.
So I guess this is like a 2-part question now. So I'll talk about playing live because I've watched you live before, and it's a real stage performance. You say you just put the suit on, you're giving it 100%. Do you still do that tonight at the Clooney, but just in a different way? Is it stripped back? That's what I'm guessing. Is it stripped back? Then your voice do the performance. I guess.
That's it. I'm just singing tunes that I love singing. There's a few covers in there.
Right.
A few songs that have meant something to me that I might have let slip. Even talking about where my headspace was with the formula and all this horrible thing, it feels like I've been in some weird camp where I've been hypnotised and I've managed to escape now, like Handmaid's Tale. And with that, I just realised all the music I was listening to, the playlists, were literally just pop of each week. Do you know what I mean? What was a hit each week. And then even now I've started listening to the music that inspired me to go at this the first time, and the stuff that I grew up to as a kid. And this is amazing, because it's reminded me of when I used to come and see my brother in Newcastle, who was an artist there. I'm studying it. It's reminded me of when I used to come and do that, and the fucking drive that I had to tell people the message in my music, because I wanted to express myself. And I lost that, and it's amazing doing all this because I've found it, and it's like finding the most beautiful thing again, because I just generally feel like just so much better. Yeah. Like just generally so much better about everything, because I'm like I'm free from the beholding of the formula, Yeah. And look, I'm not. I don't really care, but I guarantee that in 2 years I'll have another chain of hits, and it's because
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I love to do. And you were telling me just before this interview that the key thing about this interview is to educate other people of what not to do and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I know that this time I won't get all shiny shoes in LA. I'll just keep fucking loving it and making the music I love because it works. You know what I mean? That's where I went wrong. You know, in all honesty, that's where I went wrong. When I started throwing hoovers in hot tubs and trying to get as many women in my room as I could.
Mm-hmm. Which, let's be honest, that's
not going to happen when you look like me.
Well, that happens, doesn't it? That happens when you say industry. I've never had that problem at all.
This week is brought to you in partnership with MGR Music. Ever wanted to learn an instrument, hone your skills, or pick up something completely new? You can get so far by yourself, however, professional guidance can make all the difference. With a network of tutors right across the UK and rates starting from as little as £15 per hour, visit mgrmusic.com now to get started.
Half time, and here is John to talk about his good cause of the week.
Brain Tumour Foundation, due to me having one of those bloody things. Your bloody thing, piss off!
Yeah, excellent. Well, what we'll do is we'll put links all to that.
That'd be wicked. They're a great group of people, and I recently went to one of the things at Westminster, and it was just so amazing to meet these such strong-minded people, and I think it was really inspiring. So I will hopefully continue to inspire them and bring awareness to them as well.
Perfect.
If you want to find out more, just go to our show notes. And back to the episode.
This question is from my mum, actually.
Oh wow.
So she read somewhere or heard somewhere, and I just want to make sure it's true, that you, when you first started, used to go to boy band auditions, other auditions, band auditions, all that thing, just so people remembered you and your voice. You didn't want to be in the band.
No.
You just wanted to go like, you were going to remember me.
I was a clever little shit when it came to that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell her that. So why? Besides being a clever little shit.
Where that actually came from was I was studied at Leeds College of Music, and do you know what's funny? Even I used to wear these pumps all the time at that age. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy them pumps again. I've got some, but like, just reminded me. But so I was in Leeds. I was a kid walking around with my guitar, working in a pub, in a bar, doing live gig after live gig, and I felt like my name was, magazines there and everything like that. I didn't feel like I was. Maybe before I kept feeling like I was getting a bit mugged off, if you know what I mean. And then there was I remember exactly who it was, and it's funny when I see them now from the music industry. There's a woman called Jessica from a talent group who did Amy Winehouse. I think they did One Direction, but they're called 19 Entertainment. And they were looking to build a new boy band. It's Simon Fuller's company who did Simon Cowell's ex-partner. And they were building a band called The Wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And I just basically pushed in front of that line. Everyone was like, what are you doing? And at that age, I was like, fuck off. Do you? And then, I just went in and I said to her, look, I generally have no interest whatsoever in being in the boy band. I don't even want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
I was like, I just know that you've got my ticket out of here.
Okay.
So can I play you a tune? And I sat and played her a song, and she was like, I love it. Let me call you after I've dealt with all this.
Yeah.
So then, I got the call, and she said, come down to London. We'd love you to come and meet our head at the management company and everything. And the best thing was, I remember I had this little notebook. I've still got it, right? And this little notebook, I had in it, it said, all my notes, everything. I'm a bit LCD in that way. I still do it now. I've got notepads and notepads stacked up of like writings of ideas and everything that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd written in that notebook how the album will be, because I thought that was it. I'd smashed it, and next minute I'd be releasing an album. So I went in her office and I said, right, I'm ready to make the album. Where are we recording it? And she was like, that's not really the idea. And I was like, well, this song's going to be out. And I went through it all. And then she basically kicked me out of the office because she was like, this isn't going to work. He doesn't understand this. He doesn't get this.
Right.
But I remember walking for 6 miles through London with my guitar on my back, nearly crying. And then that's the day that I started making fucking bangers. Like, started making proper tunes. Like, where I was like, well, I'll just do it myself. And then my management picked me up and then it escalated.
Yeah. Right, yeah. That's so
but it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. It absolutely worked.
Yeah.
It got me down to London. It moved me to London.
That was the big move, yeah.
It made me do it,
Well, that's cool.
I love that I just moved there as well. I went, right, if you want a meeting, I'll have to move there. I'm going to be famous now, do you know what I mean? Bring me notepad, release the album, sorted.
But I suppose that's a good mentality though, just because you have to, otherwise who else is going to believe
It's
you?
a mad, that mentality in general, I use it for everything. It's the law of attraction, putting your mind to something and getting it. This is great.
Brilliant. So what I want to quickly talk about is collaboration. You've done lots of collaborations in different ways. Rudimental being a big notable one. Cigala, which we mentioned before. But I also read today about your writing for other people. The likes of Ed Sheeran, Playing with Faith, Panic at the Disco.
Yeah.
How does that work? That whole world.
Good.
Do people come to you? Do you go to people and say, "I've got this. This sounds like your voice"?
It naturally happens.
Yeah.
I think, and it's it does naturally happen. It's whether it's songs that have come that I didn't want. But then, I mean, the Paloma Faith one, I just had a raging hangover and I'd been out all night, and then I went to my session, what I thought was, and I got the day wrong, and I went into the studio session and she was sat there, and I was like, and she said, I ended up becoming quite good friends with her, she said that she thought I was charming within 30 seconds of being there. So she turned around and she went, why don't you just stay? I quite like you, you're quite nice. And I was like, do you know my music? No, but you seem really nice, just hang out with us. And that was it. And then I got Paloma Faith coat, and then, but I do generally have like, you bump into people everywhere at festivals and stuff, you make friends, and like Ed's a really close friend of mine. And I've worked with him a few times now, been out with him more. But I think it's just generally the pressure isn't on you. When like I just enjoy writing tunes. I
was going to say,
in every format. Yeah.
Is it like a nice break?
Yeah.
Is it break the right
well,
way?
you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Which is good. You normally get a free coffee because you're doing them a favour. Get a free bit of lunch, and you don't have to go through all the ball ache. This is why I like collaborations. You don't have to go through the ball ache of battling with your own label. Of your own creative vision. You just let somebody else do it all. Yeah. And that's great.
And I think I spoke, I asked the same question to Catherine Williams, who writes songs for others. I said, do you ever write something and go, nah, I'm keeping that?
That's tricky when you're in a studio writing with the artist. That is a really tricky thing, and it's gutting when it goes because you're like, shit. But,
greatest line I've ever written.
But that's fine to believe and have. And again, don't worry about it, it'll come again.
Yeah.
The second you start worrying about it, it's not coming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So, two quite final things, and I've got. We'll start doing this in the next little interviews. We do quick fire questions just to put you on the spot, and we also have at the end of each episode a charity or good cause of the week.
Okay.
So, is there anything that you are a patron for or very close to?
Yeah, the Brain Tumor Foundation.
Yeah. We always talk about that at the end, put links out and all that sort of stuff.
Cool.
So, two quick things. You've mentioned this a few times, but it is really interesting. How do you deal with the business side of it all? And I think your answer is going to be, fuck them.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
Previously, no. I dealt with it, but in the wrong way.
Right.
I recently put a thing out about, I was just talking about the recovery of thinking it's important, especially in males, especially in people that have to smile for a living, mental health. And I had my own journey in it, went through the process of fixing it, and throughout the process again, I learnt to deal with everything. But at the end of it, me and my psychiatrist came to the decision that the best thing for me to do would be to expose myself and say, look, I've been battling, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
If I've been shit on these social medias or if I've been weird or anything, it's because I've had this.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and it felt so good to say that instead of just being like, yes, I'm fine, you know. And like, I think it learned, I put in that message that I'm so sorry if I've, to anyone that's aiming to work towards my success, if I've shut you down and fucked you up, you know, because you become vicious and you get really like, no, this is my vision, this is my heart, and you want to smash their heads against the wall and scream at them and tell them that this is your everything, this is your whole life, you know, like, and then when you realise that they're just trying to work, of course they want to get a new conservatory themselves, but they're just trying to work because, and I feel this, that people generally, the people around me, I get on with them so well and they have a heart for me and they want it to work for me. They see my passion. And I realised that all they want is the best for me and they're just because they like me. And I think that respect coming made it so much easier to deal with the business. It's hard. I run a chauffeur company as well.
Right, okay.
Which is mental.
I never knew that.
Just to make sure that I can always make music, if you know what I mean. And even if shit hits the fan, I can make music. But so I'm constantly switched on. I get up at 5 a.m. every day. I am a bit of a businessman in that sense. I think when I'm on tour, I'm a bit of a weirdo, you know. But like in general, I am a businessman, and I understand it's a business when business is involved. But I don't want to get that involved in the music anymore. That's another thing. It was getting involved in the music. I was ringing my manager and checking what he was doing. It's like, why am I doing that? And why am I paying him? Or why am I with that label if I'm ringing them to check what they're doing? I gotta just trust them. You know, they've done it before. We've done it before. You know?
Cool. Okay, what's next? I think we already covered that. What's next after this?
I want to play Wembley Stadium, and it's going to take me years. It's going to take me a long time, but I'm so focused and so excited, and want to do it in the right way. And I don't know why I chose Wembley. It's because I can see it from my house, the arch. I sit and look at it at night, and I think I want to play that fucking stadium. So I just chose that and went for that. And I'm gonna and what it means is when you play Wembley, it means you have very large tours before it. You have arena tours, you have this tour, you have the next tour, then you have that next tour. To break it down, literally, I've not got far to go. I've got this tour, right, which is going to be the worst tour, I think. And then I've got another one which we're about to confirm, hopefully in October, which is the next level. Then there's one more level, which comes really quickly after. It might be the spring. And then this is how I handle with the business, can you see? And then you go arena, and then you're at Wembley. So I'm not far. I've got like 2 years probably, if I crack this. But I wanted to start the journey with like fucking Stephen stood at the bar who does accounts at his local law firm in Hull. I wanted him to see the tunes, and I wanted them all to see the tunes and watch the journey of them songs. With longevity, not as just chuck them on the radio and hopefully we'll have a hit, you know. Because I'm not going to fucking score from the other goal. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to walk my way over to the goal. I'm going to smash it in as hard as I can when I get to it.
It's like we were saying before, that visualization of...
It's you know, through my darkest moments of my life, I've always focused on what's next, the positive. Do you know what I mean? And I think that drives you through so well, you know. Yeah,
totally. Perfect. Okay, quick questions. These are quick questions.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, I love that. These John, shut up.
No, it's just to try and make you.
Because
people always get stuck on the first one.
Yeah.
Which song, out of every song that's ever been written, do you wish that you had wrote?
Make You Feel My Love.
Really?
It's ridiculously good. Yeah.
Good call. Which artist made you want to become an artist?
So many. If I say them quickly, then it's still quick fire. Everyone else, Otis Redding, Adele, Florence and the Machine. It's so many people, all the old soul artists.
First album that you ever fell in love with?
Otis Redding. Otis Sings Soul Blue, it was called.
Oh wow.
Really weird title.
First gig you ever went to?
Probably James Morrison in Leeds, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool, I think we're talking to him soon. And the best bit of all of this, everything that you do in your artistic job, what is the best part?
It's all pretty fucking good, isn't it? The highs, the lows, the achievements, the fails.
And then
take it all in and live it all.
In 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, John Newman, thank you very much.
Nice one, thank you.
There we go, James. John Newman at the Clooney on our podcast. What a series of words that is.
What a world.
Yeah, what a world. As we mentioned in the intro, he was full of beans, loving this tour, loving the concept of his tour. He did another tour pretty much 3 or 4 months after this one. Bigger venues, universities, academies. This probably jump-started that tour. I think if he went back into that tour, even bigger shows, he may or not have enjoyed it as much. I can't talk for him because he hasn't said out of the way.
You got that impression, though. It was right for him in terms of how he approached.
Yeah. I think he mentioned the reset button at some point. Hit the reset button. I might do this a couple of times, he mentioned.
Yeah.
And we bumped into this, before we had the interview, we stood just chatting in the pub, and a couple of fans came up for photos and were kind of like, can you take a photo? I was like, yeah, certainly. And they were like, I can't believe I'm seeing John Newman in the Clooney. And I think he was probably thinking something similar of like, I'm here and I'm just getting back to it. And he's talked about his brother who came up our neck of the woods for university playing in gigs, and he used to come and see him. So, James, next week it is the last interview of the season.
Indeed.
We'll speak more about what else is going on next week. But here is a little clip, James, of a up-and-coming guitarist called Dave Cooney.
You're going to find the exact guy you're looking for that has the right look and has the exact same musical taste as you. Yeah. Brandon and I did not have the same musical taste, but we had a lot that crossed over. Mm-hmm. Like, both loved the 80s, both loved Oasis.
All of the show notes for today's episode can be found at acpgmusic.com, along with our back catalogue of episodes. If you like what you hear, or perhaps have some improvements or specific guests you'd like us to consider, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at info@acpgmusic.com or hit us up on social media. Keep supporting upcoming artists, and we'll catch you next time.